And I am Rhonda Bonner. Let's get started.
The innovation of drone journalism is leading to a new frontier of how news is recorded. I took time to interview Kip Watkins, a professor who teaches drone journalism here at MSU Denver. And here's what he had to say.
The class is really all about helping students get their commercial drone pilot's license and getting them ready to take this FAA exam.
So when you're flying a drone, how high in the air can you actually go? I mean, you do have to avoid planes.
Right, so the FAA rule for Part 107, and that's the part that controls commercial drone pilots, it is 400 feet above ground level is the max.
So, do you think that an investment in a drone would be a good thing for somebody involved in any kind of broadcast or media production?
Oh goodness, yes. And it'll make you more employable if you have that license.
So in the class, I know that you're preparing them to take this test to get their license. Can you tell me a little bit about that, such as how much it costs?
It costs about $150. You have to take it at an FAA-approved testing center. If you're not studying for it, the chances of you passing it are zero, basically, because you have to know things like aeronautical charts and weather theory and all of the FAA regs. The problem with drones is that they're so much fun that they can be addictive.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and I hope that we can meet again and enjoy some drones.
You're welcome.
I think consent means trust, and trust in yourself and the person you're with, and being comfortable in that trust together.
I think consent means that we have the freedom to set our own boundaries and that we have the kindness to respect other people's boundaries.
And ultimately, we have to bridge from where we're at to where we want to go. We often start by thinking we can just take the last step on the bridge and be in the consent culture and say, no, we have to build the whole bridge from right here all the way to over here.
So it's important if somebody chooses to disclose to a friend, a family member, a coworker that they've been sexually assaulted, what's really important is that the individual hearing that says, I believe you, I'm sorry this happened to you, thank you so much for telling me.
So I think what's happening with the students is really encouraging, as I said before, but there's still a lot of work to do. We live in a society, we live in a culture where we're all taught that we should be certain ways, act certain ways, and that influences our ability to communicate in our relationships and to understand what our roles are and to understand that we have the power and control over who we are in our relationships.
Your community supports you. The End Violence team and community partners are here for you. End Violence Project, Project PAVE, Denver Health School-Based Health Clinics,
The Blue Bench.
About consent and consent culture yourself. What are you going to do with this information? How can you support consent culture?
Consent is essential.
Consent is essential.
Tells us about how having a location on campus has greatly benefited students here in Denver, Colorado.
I've been looking forward to the restaurant industry for quite a while. It is something that's been a passion of mine since I was a child. Many of us, we still have classes here, and so it's a great way for us to go from work to school in such a short time.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. What can we get for you today?
So I am a Starbucks barista. That is a position where we craft caffeinated or non-caffeinated beverages as well as craft up some breakfast items, pastries, sandwiches, wraps, packaged foods, fruits, chips, and so on and so forth. It helps me connect with customers, and it has also helped me learn more about the restaurant industry and just being able to provide guest satisfaction, because that is essentially what a job like this is about, is guest satisfaction. You know, being able to fill a customer's day with something that they would like, you know, lattes, coffees, and frappuccinos, you know, the usual good stuff. Someone like me, I like being creative, but more importantly, I love being able to connect with customers and make customers happy.
Behind every cup of coffee is a smile, and that is what drives students and future hospitality leaders to this campus Starbucks. If you haven't already had an espresso in the city, this location will surely have you hooked.
The trail programs were started in the 60s, and it was signed by LBJ into law, into Congress. And basically it was that trail programs are going to help. And there was a whole bunch of things happening, if you all remember, in the 60s about really transforming and making education more accessible. And so TRIO programs became part of that agenda. A lot of folks asked, like, what does TRIO stand for? And TRIO doesn't really stand for anything, but what happened was the first program that was actually started was TRIO Upward Bound. And so Upward Bound was this high school program that works with high school students to get them prepared for college. A year later, I believe they started Talent Search.
So what we've been doing is focusing on giving away community meals to the people who can't afford food otherwise, and the people who are food insecure, as well as taking takeout orders. We serve everybody. And anybody who needs food. But primarily we serve the community that's currently experiencing homelessness right now. And like I said, food insecurity, as well as with our Cafe 180 at home.
Stay tuned for some fun facts and how to achieve lucid dreaming if you are interested, which Grant and I will discuss at the end. Lucid dreams appear to have a vivid, lifelike reality to you about the typical sleep cycles. There are 5 stages in which the normal person goes through. However, one cycle usually consists of 5 to 6 times in one night. The first and second cycle usually happens within minutes. It is the, I like to say, nodding off stage. Your brain produces waves called alpha and theta. When your eyes slow down, you start to fall asleep.
Thank you, and see you next time.